What can I add to the conversation? Comes up a lot in my mind. I think about the tradition of this country, the European lens of art making. Not that I don't want to be a part of that, but I want to see if I can make something that feels more at home with the experience that I'm living. When we make art, we can have another avenue to dictate what's valuable, not just these things that come on television or magazines or fashion or whatever's being dictated to us about what should be valuable. The signage comes from that, comes from a community aesthetic. All this stuff comes from that. And in these communities, there's life. How is Los Angeles supposed to respond to people being kidnapped, families being torn apart? The work I make takes the time that we're living in, but it also takes the good with the bad. Not that I have all the answers, but at least it kind of acknowledges where we are right now. In my mind, that's kind of where I'm at. A lot of these people that think that they're alone or they're crazy, they're not. It's always been about the land with this country, right? The visual cues that come up in the day-to-day, like driving around, riding your bike, taking a walk. I think that creating landscapes is important. I imagine these works being this big. I think about scale. I think about reading them from a distance, from up close, the textures, the brush strokes that I want to put on display and express, they are that big because that's how I'm sampling it. And I feel that when I make works so big, it'll open up all that visual language that everyone kind of is familiar with. I always wanted to use cinder block in my work, and I was thinking about making something sculptural with it. I'm interested in art history, but also the history that we're living with. Not that we ignore it, but we just don't know it yet. We're just living every day and not really paying attention to things that are around us. So in that way, I'm trying to freeze fleeting scenarios around us and highlight them in the work that I make.
Nothing is in vain. Even the painting that you don't see is there. And people could feel that. You could feel it. And they don't have to have a trained eye. I think about conflict. I think about war. I think about Gaza. I think about the kidnappings, the ICE raids.
All the conflict and the frictions that I'm painting into these works, I think they make a lot of sense. Yeah, especially with where we're at right now. And I don't want them to make sense, I don't want to be making landscapes like this or work that's like conflicted all the time. I want to live, a moral life, but also just a peaceful life, with my family and live a life where you can just relax and be not on edge and nervous system is not going haywire, right? But for right now, that's not how it is. So that's not how the work is going to look.